Ko tōna ringa ki ngā rākau a te Pākehā.
Where we're sharing the artwork with as many people as possible.
Ko tōna ngākau ki ngā taonga a ona tīpuna Maori. DESTRY PUIA is a man who walks seamlessly between two worlds. But it's his role in Te Ao Pākehā which has seen his rapid rise in the Australian theatre world. He's the current General Manager of the Art Centre Gold Coast, but came from very humble beginnings.
When we got here, my wife Poppy and I, we had $300, credit card in the pocket and no connections whatsoever. No place to stay, so we stayed at the local backpackers, and I thought I'd just rock into the Art Centre Melbourne, which is the biggest performing arts centre in Australia, start there and then work my way down, and eventually someone would have to give me a job.
But DESTRY's credentials weren't exactly the flashest. He'd only once worked as an usher at Centrepoint in Palmerston North, therefore had very limited experience in the world of theatre.
So I went to the Art Centre Melbourne, and as luck would have it, all the technical crew had worked for the Christmas period and then had taken the New Year's Eve period off. So literally, if you had 2 arms and 2 legs and you were ready to work, they would take you.
And they took him. DESTRY spent 6 months in the lighting and sound department of the Melbourne Arts Centre, pretty much learning on the job. But it wasn't too long before he became hoha and wanted something else.
From there, I quickly learned that if I wanted to progress my career and keep expanding my skills in a whole variety of areas, I had to leave the Arts Centre. So although I was very grateful to have the work there, I then went on and worked for a regional council as the technical manager. Now when I applied for that job, I didn't even know what a technical manager was. And it was my wife who guided me through the job application process, because up until that point I actually hadn't ever written and applied for a job. This was the very first one.
So did you bluff your way into the job?
It's creative writing and creative storytelling as part of the career progression process for anyone in any sector, but more so perhaps the performing arts. But yes, that was it.
Following this role, there was no more bluffing his way to the top. It was time to put in the hard yards, and that's exactly what he did. With another brief stint at the Melbourne Arts Centre again, as well as the Sunshine Coast. But there was one dream role which DESTRY had his eye on.
This organisation was one that I'd been watching within the industry for quite some time, not only because of its great location here on the Gold Coast, but it's got some amazing facilities available to it. And then I just happened to see the position advertised. I had also been encouraged by some other colleagues to put in, because they really were, the board at the time were looking for not only a change in direction but a change in leadership style and generational change to how the organisation was being run too.
Well, DESTRY is an ambitious young man, and an ambitious young man usually brings with him a desire to achieve, and DESTRY has brought a vision of what he believes a community the size of the Gold Coast, being 600,000, needs in terms of art and culture. He's seen it through the eyes of a younger person and understanding what a total community needs, just not a segment of the community. And that's the part that I've admired in DESTRY, that he's prepared to go out there, have a go, and in that sense he needs the backing of the board, which I've been hopefully instrumental in being able to deliver for him.
DESTRY received the nod from the board and took over as General Manager in 2009 with a very clear vision which included the local tangata whenua.
An injection of fresh new talent and skill sets into the organisation, a fresh new creative direction, which wasn't just about the top end of the arts in regards to the operas and the ballets. That's a critical part of what we do. Complementing that needs to be deep engagement with our community. More importantly, our Indigenous community that we have here. If we're able to get that mix right, if we're able to support our Indigenous community in coming along to the arts and telling their own creative stories, then that provides a great foundation for us to build all things upon.
I think it's great someone like DESTRY is kind of leading this role in this building, because it's kind of like a mutual space, and he also has the benefit of having his own cultural knowledge from back home in his traditional area.
For those who I haven't had the chance to meet, my name is DESTRY PUIA and I'm the General Manager here at the Arts Centre Gold Coast.
Through things like cross-cultural awareness training and that, I can immediately identify that DESTRY understands without having to go into too much length of time to explain. It's merely an instant moment of understanding, and it's almost refreshing.
Since taking over the role of General Manager back in 2009, the Arts Centre Gold Coast has seen a rapid increase in the number of visitors here. Back then there were approximately 320,000 people through these doors, but now, thanks to DESTRY and his vision, that number has almost doubled. And DESTRY says that aspects of tikanga Maori have also played a part in that major achievement.
There are universal concepts within our culture, manaakitanga, whakawhanaungatanga, that don't only bode well in te ao Māori, but also te ao Pākehā, making sure that our manuhiri are looked after when they arrive here at the Arts Centre, making sure they have a fantastic time while they are here, and making sure that they're able to leave with our love is absolutely central to the success of what we do here, not only with our community, but with artists alike.
DESTRY is very equal, and he brings that real Māori tikanga into this environment, and it works really well.
DESTRY says like any job, it has its challenges, but it's his whānau and his taha Māori that helps provide both stability and balance in his life.
The biggest sacrifice I think we have had to make as a family is that our children haven't been brought up in te reo Māori. And so to offset that, we've been very active in making sure we get to reo class with our babies. We're in kapahaka, we're in maurako. If we're able to keep tying into those aspects, it makes the longing for home that much less.
Having mahi maurako balances out that Pākehā world that he's in, so he can just be DESTRY, the dad, the partner, and just fall in line like everyone else and not have to think about anything else in the Pākehā world, so that's great balance for him.
He's real sweet to everyone, but when it comes to maurako, he's hard, he pushes us to the limit, and if he wasn't here, then we wouldn't have gotten anywhere with him.
Mum and Dad have risked heaps for us, and they would give their lives if they could for us, so yeah.
So what next for DESTRY PUIA?
I see myself looking over Sydney Harbour from the seat of Sydney Opera House. For me, that's the pinnacle of what we do, and being able to play a leading role in the artistic journey of not only Australia but New Zealand as well, for me that's a great challenge and something to aspire to.